Have you ever been stuck in that weird relationship limbo? You know, where you're kept on the hook by someone who gives you just enough attention to keep you interested, but never, ever enough to actually move things forward? Well, today we're going to decode that super frustrating behavior, which, believe it or not, finally has a name. It's such a confusing feeling, right? You get a random text out of the blue, maybe a like on a photo you posted a week ago, or that classic vague promise of, we should totally hang out soon. It's this cycle of these tiny little validations that just leaves you wondering where you stand, constantly asking yourself, am I just imagining this, or is there actually something here? And if this sounds even remotely familiar, trust me, you are not alone. This whole pattern has become so widespread in our digital world that we've literally had to invent a term just to describe the experience of being led on one tiny piece at a time. Okay, let's just dive right into it. The term itself is actually brilliant because it paints this perfect picture of someone leaving you just enough to follow, but never, ever enough to actually get to a destination. So the name is a direct nod to the old fairy tale of Hansel and Gretel. A breadcrumber leaves this trail of small, tempting crumbs of attention, just luring you along a path that, spoiler alert, leads to absolutely nowhere. It's all about keeping your interest with the absolute bare minimum of investment. And what's so wild is just how perfectly calibrated these actions are. I mean, it's not total silence, but it is definitely not real effort either. That random like, the thinking of you text after weeks of nothing, these are tiny, low-cost moves designed to keep you on the back burner. It's this subtle psychological trick to make sure you don't forget about them. But why? Why do people actually do this? Look, this behavior isn't just random. To really get to the root of it, psychologists often look back at our earliest relationship templates, our attachment styles, which get formed when we're kids based on how reliable our caregivers were. So, experts usually point to two key patterns. First up, you've got avoidant attachment. For these folks, too much closeness can feel, suffocating. So they use breadcrumbing as a way to keep you interested, but at a safe emotional distance. Then, on the other hand, you have anxious attachment. These are people who really, really crave closeness, but live with this constant fear of being rejected. And this is where it gets really counterintuitive. While it kind of makes sense that someone avoidant would breadcrumb to keep their distance, a 2023 study found that people with an anxious attachment style do it too. So why would they do that? Well, it seems to be this misguided attempt to control a connection they're terrified of losing. It's a total paradox where the fear of being left behind leads them to push people away just enough to keep them chasing. So here's the crucial point. This isn't just about one person's psychology. The entire world of modern dating, of social media, of the way we communicate, it has created the perfect petri dish for breadcrumbing to just thrive. Okay, so how common are we talking? Well, one study actually put a number to this feeling, and it is a big one. This is the percentage of adults who said they've been on the receiving end of breadcrumbing. Yeah, just let that sink in for a second. More than 1 out of every 3 people. So if you felt this, you are so far from alone. This is not some niche problem. It's a huge feature of the modern dating landscape, and it's affecting a massive chunk of the population. In fact, some studies show that breadcrumbing is actually more common than ghosting, when someone just completely vanishes without a single word. So why is this wishy-washy behavior so incredibly widespread? Well, a huge part of the answer is in the very technology we use to connect. Dating apps are basically designed like a game. The endless scroll of potential partners can create this mindset where connections just feel disposable. I mean, there's always another option just a swipe away, which totally discourages investment. And that quick little dopamine hit you get from a new match, it rewards the exact low-effort, high-validation behavior that defines breadcrumbing. Now, you might think that being ghosted is the absolute most painful kind of rejection, but a lot of relationship experts are now arguing that the slow-burn emotional damage of breadcrumbing is uniquely harmful. The real difference is clarity. Ghosting is brutal, no doubt, but it's a definite end. You're hurt, you're confused, but you can eventually start to heal. Breadcrumbing, on the other hand, traps you in this state of limbo. It keeps hope alive on this painful little drip feed, creating an endless cycle of expectation and disappointment that can just slowly chip away at your self-esteem. And the research absolutely backs this up. A 2020 study found that people who'd experienced breadcrumbing reported way lower life satisfaction and much higher feelings of loneliness and helplessness. That constant emotional whiplash of being pulled in and then pushed away, It leaves you questioning not just them, but your own judgment and your own worth. And this whole dynamic of being strung along, it's not just stuck in the world of romance. You could argue it's a symptom of a much broader commitment-light culture. And once you see the pattern, you start to notice it in other parts of life, especially in the modern workplace. Seriously, think about it. A manager might drop breadcrumbs about a potential promotion to keep a good employee from leaving, but with no real plan to make it happen. They give you just enough praise, just enough vague promises about the future to keep you motivated and working hard, but that actual reward, it just never seems to show up. So the most important thing to remember from all this is simple. Whether it's happening in dating or on the job, breadcrumbing is not a reflection of your worth. It's a reflection of the other person's inability to communicate, maybe their need for validation, or just an environment that rewards low commitment. Just seeing the pattern for what it is, that's the first real step to taking your power back. And all of this leaves us with a really big question. When our technology and our culture seem to be pushing us towards these vague, non-committal interactions, what does it actually take to consciously choose to build connections, both personal and professional, that are based on respect, honesty, and real investment? That's definitely something for all of us to think about.